Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to start putting the pine tongue and groove on the walls in this room. Now, it looks like it's going to work out perfectly that the first row is going to be right to the bottom of this beam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finish gun. First I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but I took a gold marker and drew lines where the studs are on this wall so that I can do it nice and quick and easy and not have to look for screws. So first thing I did was I cut this piece, which is going to fit on this side of the beam. And I'm going to take that first piece with my level, and we are going to hold it up there. We're working from the top down. So we're going to put the tongue towards the floor. So I'm going to take my first piece and I'm going to come just to the bottom of that beam and I'm going to level it. Then I'm going to, I like to face nail through these because I like the look of the nails. You can go through the tongue only if you want and hide the nails. You don't have to show the nails. And I'm nailing right through the, right into the studs with a 2.5 inch finish nail. So let me cut another piece that goes from this beam over. And another thing I like to do is stop my joints on the center of a 2x4. So if your board comes to here, cut it back to here so that it lines up in the center of your 2x4 so you have something to nail it to. I got a couple screws I need to get out of the wall here. I'm gonna get those out and then I'm gonna cut the next piece and then we'll put that one up. Okay, so I cut this piece to length, and what I like to do is cut where the two butts joints go together from one piece to the other. And I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, but I cut this at about a 1 degree bevel inwards like this so that when the other piece comes up to it, they fit tighter together. Rather than having them both perfect 90-degree cuts, you will have a tendency to have a bigger gap between the two. So now we're going to hold this one up with the level again. Okay, now we have the first row all the way to there. So let's start on the second row because I can finish that afterwards because now we're at the door jamb, so it doesn't matter. And then there's a piece of trim that'll cover that up, so that'll work out well. So now we're going to start the next row. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going past this 2x4 here, which is fine. It's not going to hurt anything. And then this wall will butt into that wall. And if you guys didn't watch the short video last night, after I had made a video of saying that I finished the electrical and the framing in this room, we ended up cutting out this hole here into the bar area just to make it a little bit nicer and a little bit, you know, it flows through a little bit more. Okay, so these are 8-foot boards. If I come all the way to this over here, that's over 8 feet. So I need to come back to here, which is 84 inches, which is 7 feet. So I'm gonna cut a board to 7 feet. Now, it's gonna hang down past this opening a little bit, which is fine. I'll let it hang down for now, and I'll come back after and cut it back with my saw. Okay, so now I can put this board up. We don't need the level anymore because we have our starter row level, so now we don't have to worry about that. We're just gonna take our hammer and our board here, get it lined up, And sometimes it's tricky to tap in because the wall will have a bow in it. Sometimes it could be a real pain in the butt. Now we just repeat the process. My gun quit firing for some reason. Can't tell if it was shooting a nail or not. I don't think so. There we go. And once you get a rhythm down, it goes pretty quick. Now, you always want to stagger your joints. You don't want to have a joint here, a joint here, a joint here, a joint here. You want to go a joint here, a joint here, you know, a joint way down there. You want to kind of sporadically put them. It looks better that way. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working my way down this wall, and then I'll come back and show you what it's looking like. Okay, so about 20 minutes or so, I was able to get that much of the wall done. It goes really quick once you get it started. Still have to cut this down here because it's up too high. Same thing up there, I need to cut it to make it the same height that the hole is. Now I'm down to that electrical box on the wall right here. So I need to cut this square out of this board, and I already have it marked. And I like to use these multi-tools for that. So just plunge the blade right into it. See, by using that, you can get a nice square hole, and it's pretty quick. You don't have to get a jigsaw out, drill a hole with the jigsaw or anything like that. Okay, now I'm dealing with this board. I just nailed it on that side, but look at this, how bad it's bowed. It's got a bad bow to it. So we're gonna see if we can straighten this out. As soon as I find my screwdriver. Don't know where I put it. Okay, let me get a scrap. We're going to start here. We're going to take this scrap at the groove, put it in the tongue in the groove. We're going to take a flathead and we're going to nail it into the wall. I don't know what's wrong with my light. And then pry up on it. And then get your nail in. Okay, move down to the next one. Same thing again. You can't always get them all the way, but you can get them most of the way. Now this one actually, the board's bad right here, but there's a piece of trim that's going to cover it. so you won't see much of the end of it. Not want to go. Sometimes it'll fight you. And that's as close as that one will go, but at least it's closed up. Okay, now this wall is done all the way around the door. Just needs the door casing put on now. So it's gonna get a 3.5 inch rough sawn pine, also a 3.5 inch rough sawn pine on this side as well. That's gonna go around the window, and I'll show you guys that later. Now, like this electrical box here and the one down there are recessed 3/4 of an inch because they were flush with the old wood. So now I gotta get a box extender. And what that does is brings this ring out to the outer edge. Now on this one, I put a new box in. This is an old work style box where you tighten these 2 screws and a tab flips down and then it holds the box to the wall. Now this box right here used to have a plug that was always live. So, and what it did is one of these wires was always live. And then what it did was it fed the other plug, which is on this side of the wall. So what I'm going to do is use this as a junction box. I'm gonna tie these together, black to black, white to white, ground to ground, and those are gonna be tied together, shoved back in the box. Then I'm going to hook up this 14-2 wire to a plug, which goes up to there, which goes over to the switches. So when I turn on the games in this room, the plugs over there, those 3 will turn on and this game will turn on. The reason why I just ran 14-2 over here is because I'm only running 1 game on this 14-2 wire, which is way more than enough size wire for that. So there's how that is. Now, this wall, I can start putting some wood on this wall now. So once again, I gotta get my level. Level it, and we also now we have to worry about lining up our corners as best as we can. They won't be perfect because they never are, but we can at least get it close. And that's pretty good there. I believe there's a stud right in the middle here. I'm not positive. I have my tape measure. I'm hitting at about 8 inches. So this should be the stud right about here. Yep. All right, so now that's level. Our gap up here is about 5/8 of an inch, which is fine because the rough sawn pine that covers this is 1 inch thick. The concrete slopes a little bit down here, so this is a full board over here, and then I had to cut it down a little bit on that end, so the concrete goes up a little bit over there, and then it's straight over here with the full board. So I will end with a full board here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and go down this wall now. As I go down, I need to cut in a 3-place switch box right there, and then this is going to be a double switch box here, and this one's going to get covered up. So I got to put a 3 and a 2, cover this one up. So let me get this wall done next. Okay, this wall is done now. I'm not putting the electrical boxes in yet. I have to run 1 more wire to that upper box, which I can fish down from up top. I have to run another 12-2 wire from the fuse panel over to there. So now I cut the 2 side lengths for the casings, and then we gotta cut one for over top. And I'm running about a 3/16 reveal between the edge. Now I gotta cut the top piece. Now these are not mitered corners, they're just square cut. 44 5/8. Perfect. All right, that door opening is done. So now the window, I'm gonna do the window tonight and then call it a night. That'll be 2 walls done today, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to do the other 2 walls. So let me figure out what width of wood I'm gonna need. I'm gonna have to go outside on the table saw and cut it down to the width. Let me grab my tape measure. See how wide this wall is here, because we have 3/4 inch pine, 1/2 inch drywall, a 2x4, 7/16 OSB, 3/4 inch pine. So we are exactly 6 inches. 6 inches. Okay, 6 inches. So I gotta go rip down a 2x8 to 6 inches, which I think a 2x8 is 7 1/4. So I just need to mark my fence on the saw to 6. I'm gonna do 6 1/8 because there's certain spots that are 6 1/8, and I'd rather it be a little bit farther out than in. So I need to cut 3 of them. And then this bottom piece is gonna be wider. And I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna build this. I'm actually gonna build this box of all 4 sides on the floor, and then we're gonna slide it into the hole. The reason why I'm gonna do that is if this hole that I cut is at all out of square or a little bit off from top to bottom, when I slide that box in there, that's gonna square everything up. So let me go cut that to 6 1/8 and I'll come back. Okay, I've cut the top piece to length and the bottom piece. Now we pre-stained these. Now these edges will have to get stained afterwards. We'll nail it all up and then stain it afterwards, the edges. Now the bottom piece here, I 22 1/2 this so that it didn't have a sharp edge on it, so that when it's in here, you know, it doesn't have a sharp edge to run into. And this gives you enough overhang here to set a drink on here. So now what I need to do is I'm going to take these 2 pieces like this. As you can see, this is tilting down a little bit, so I have to adjust it with shims or whatever I need to do to get it level. I lost my tape measure for the 10th time today. There it is. I usually put it on my pants, but I didn't. So now I need to measure from the height of this to the top of that. See what we come up with. 26 5/8. 26 5/8. So I'm gonna go with 26 1/2. So I'm gonna cut 2 pieces, 26 1/2 for each side. Okay, now that I have that cut, we are going to take this and we are going to put these together like a box. Now all 4 pieces are the same size, the 2 sides are the same size, and the top and bottom are the same size. So all 4 pieces are the same width to each other, you know, 2 and 2. And I just put this on backwards because I was talking. All right, I'm gonna spin this around. Doesn't matter if I dent that side because it's not gonna be seen. Pull these out. Okay, take 2. The stain has to be inwards. It might be a tight fit. If it is, I might have to cut the wall a hair because my cut on the other side was a little bit crooked. Now, depending on how I was doing it, I could technically put the trim around the window on one side if I wanted to, around that box I just made, but I'm not going to. Now we're going to try to slide this in there and see if it fits. Obviously, I haven't tested it because I just now put it together. We can always adjust it if it doesn't fit. Well, looks like it's going to fit perfectly. Maybe. It's tight. See what I'm hitting on up there? Okay. We're close. I knew it was going to be tight. Right on the money. So now, I didn't go crazy with putting a bunch of framing and stuff around this opening to nail to, because I have so much wood and stuff here. I am basically going to just nail this through these 3/4 inch boards here. There's plenty of, there'll be plenty of strength when I do both sides, plus the casing is going to hold it together. Up here I have a 2x4 right in the middle. There's another one right here. Ran out of nails. I don't know if any of you guys do this kind of work or not, but I'll tell you what. I used to buy, well, I buy nails in like mass quantities, so I have them for like a year straight. I was running low, so I went to Home Depot and Lowe's, and a 2,000 pack, so 2,000 nails of pass load nails are $40 for a 2,000 pack, which is outrageous. These were $20 a year or so ago. I'm gonna have to go back to Cleveland. There's a nail place there that It's like a big wholesale place that you can go to. Contractors go there, and you can buy bulk quantity nails, and I'll probably get them for around $20, equivalent to that. But I'll be getting like 10,000 nails in a box versus 2,000. But that's just crazy. So when I was there, I also picked up a box of these nails here, which are these ones are for my air nailer, and this was $52 or $57 for 4,000 nails, which that's not horrible. I just didn't want to bring my compressor down here tonight and my hose and everything else because I got so much stuff in the way. That's why I've been wanting to use the cordless one to make it a little bit easier. Okay, now that we have that on, debating on how I want to do the trim. Let me grab a piece. So this is going to go like that. I know that. I think I'm just going to notch around this and go underneath it and put a piece underneath like that. I think that'll probably be my best bet. So what I need to do is cut 2 lengths from the bottom of the shelf, tight to the bottom of the shelf, 3/16 right here. So they're gonna end up being 27 and 9/16. 27 and 9/16. So I need to cut 2 of them at 27 and 9/16. Then I need to come back and make a notch around this. So let me go grab some more. Okay, I got those 2 sides cut. I still have to make a notch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this up here with my reveal of 3/16 on that edge, and I'm going to mark this down here, and then I'm going to take this down until it's flush with the bottom, and I'm going to mark it. And then I'm going to make this little L cut with just my multi-tool. Now we can put it up here, make sure it's flush with the bottom, which it's a tiny bit less than flush. Perfect there. Make sure our reveal looks good. This kind of trim is really easy because it's rustic. It doesn't need to be perfect, you know what I mean? It's not like when I trim out, when I'm working on that old house in Willoughby, that 1912 house, which I'll be there Monday and Tuesday. So I'll probably do some videoing there. I'm gonna be hanging the interior doors and trimming those out now. It's supposed to be there. We'll see if they show up or not. .42 3/8. Let me go cut this. It's a hair long. Let me go take a little bit off. Now this is off a little bit, and that's totally fine. We want it to be off a little bit. You know, we're not looking for a perfect trim job. We're not mitering the corners or anything like that. So now we're gonna do this bottom piece, 42 1/4. So the bottom and top are within a 1/16. That was 42 3/16, and this is 42 1/4. So let me cut that bottom piece. Okay, see if this fits. Feels good. Okay, this side's done. I'm actually going to put a couple nails through this. Okay, I'm going to go trim the other side of this window out, and then I'll come back and show you that, and then that's going to wrap up tonight. Okay, that window is done on both sides. This wall's done other than electrical. And then this beam also has got to get wrapped in that piece of pine. And then what I'm going to have to do here on the bottom edge is I'm going to miter it on a 45-degree angle on my saw. Put a piece here, piece here, piece there. So hopefully tomorrow, depending on how the weather is and stuff, what I'm going to be doing, if the weather's decent, I'm going to work on the Christmas lights for a little bit. I'm going to try to get that wall and that wall done tomorrow if I have time. Then that's all that'll be left is the ceiling. There's baseboard that has to go in, which is the same stuff for baseboard, but that won't be going in until the floor goes in. So that's not a big deal. So all right guys, that's gonna end this video. Hope you guys are liking these type of videos, and I will see you guys later. Oh, don't forget, like, subscribe, share. Thank you.